The year is the 1970s, but not the one we know. This America is broken. A war has torn the country apart, and a harsh regime now controls everything. To keep people in line, the regime holds a deadly contest every year. It's called the Long Walk. The prize: unlimited riches and one wish, anything the winner wants. But there's a catch. Only one boy walks away alive. Ray Garraty is one of the unlucky 50 this year. Before he leaves, his mother Ginny takes him to the starting point. She's terrified. She's heard stories about this contest, and she knows most of these boys will never come home. She holds on to him a little longer than usual, scared this might be the last time she sees her son. At the starting line, Ray meets the other boys he'll be walking beside. Each one is a stranger, but they're all about to share the same fate. There's Peter McVries, quiet and thoughtful, the kind of person who watches everyone closely before speaking. Hank Olson, easygoing and joking around like this is just another day. Gary Barkovich, tense and defensive, someone the other boys already don't trust. And more faces in the crowd: Arthur Baker, Billy Stebbins, Collie Parker, Richard Harkness, Thomas Curley, all of them just kids, none of them ready for what's coming. Then the major arrives. He's the face of the regime, the man running this whole event. He stands in front of the 50 boys and lays out the rules one last time, making sure every single one of them understands. Walk at 3 miles per hour. Fall behind and you get a warning. Get 3 warnings, and the 4th mistake means you get your ticket.
You get your ticket.
Their cold way of saying execution. The major even tries to sell it as a good thing, saying this contest will inspire the rest of the country to stop being lazy, to work harder, to sacrifice. It's a speech dressed up like patriotism, but everyone standing there knows the truth. This isn't about inspiring anyone. It's about entertainment and control, and the fact that 50 boys are about to start walking toward their own deaths, one step at a time. Then, without much warning, the countdown ends. The countdown hits 0, and just like that, 50 boys start moving. No trumpet, no big ceremony. Just 50 pairs of feet hitting the road and a line of army trucks rolling slowly behind them, packed with soldiers watching their every move. At first, it almost feels normal. The boys are nervous, but they start talking to each other, trying to make friends, trying to distract themselves from what's really happening. Some of them joke about what they'll do with the prize money. Others talk about their families back home. For a few minutes, it almost feels like any other walk with a group of teenagers. That feeling doesn't last long. Thomas Curley is one of the first to struggle. His leg cramps up hard, a Charlie horse locking his muscle in place. He slows down. The soldiers notice immediately. He gets his first warning. Ray and Peter, already starting to bond with him, try to help him push through the pain, encouraging him to keep his legs moving. But the cramp is too brutal. Curly falls behind and drops to the ground. He starts crying, begging, saying this isn't fair, that his leg just gave out, that he can't help it. It doesn't matter. He's already used up his warnings. The soldiers give him his final ticket right there on the road. A gunshot and Curly is gone. The other boys freeze for a second, horrified. This isn't a rule on paper anymore. They just watched a boy their age get executed a few feet away from them, but there's no time to process it. The line doesn't stop. They have to keep walking, right past his body. Not long after, another boy collapses from a sudden seizure. He never gets back up either. Then there's Gary Barkovich. From the start, none of the other boys like him. He's twitchy, defensive, and picks fights instead of making friends. He sets his sights on a walker named Rank and starts taunting him nonstop, needling him about everything, refusing to let up. Rank finally cracks and shoves Barkovich, maybe even throws a punch. That's exactly what Barkovich wanted. Fighting is against the rules. The soldiers don't care who started it. Rank falls behind in the scuffle, and that's enough. He's executed for slowing down. Barkovich basically got a boy killed just to mess with him, and the group knows it. They start pulling away from him, disgusted. Peter looks him dead in the eye and calls him exactly what he is: a killer. As the hours grind on, the real enemy becomes the walk itself. Hunger hits first, then thirst, then something even worse: the boy's body simply breaking down from non-stop walking. Ray notices Hank Olson struggling and quietly shares his food ration with him after Hank drops his own. It's a small moment of kindness in a place with almost none of it. Then nature makes things even crueler. One walker develops severe diarrhea and has to stop to relieve himself. He stops once. He stops twice. On his third stop, the soldiers decide he's fallen behind one too many times. He's shot right there mid-stride, no exceptions for basic human need. Night finally falls, and things get even harder. Ray already has 3 warnings on his record, which means one more slip and he's finished. Peter refuses to let that happen. He keeps forcing Ray to talk, to focus, to stay on his feet, anything to keep him from dozing off or slowing down in the darkness. Exhausted and on edge, Ray snaps at him, accusing Peter of only helping him so he can watch him die later and win the whole thing himself. Then the road throws one more test at them, a massive hill. Climbing it in the dark, completely drained, several boys can't keep the pace. One by one, they fall behind on the incline and are executed right there on the slope. Ray and Peter somehow make it to the top together. Once they're over the hill and the danger passes, Ray, ashamed of how he treated his only friend out here, apologizes to Peter. By the end of that first brutal stretch, the 50 boys who started this walk are already a much smaller group, and they're only getting started. Morning comes, and Harkness, still shaken from the hill, twists his ankle badly on the descent. He tries to push through it, but it's no use. The injury is too severe. He's executed minutes later. The remaining walkers cross the 100-mile mark, a brutal milestone that reminds everyone just how far this nightmare still has to go. Desperation starts showing cracks in people. One walker, seeing a building near the road, makes a break for it, sprinting with everything he has left, hoping to somehow escape. He doesn't even reach the door before the soldiers gun him down. It's a pointless, tragic death, and it lights a fire of hatred in the remaining boys, aimed squarely at the major and the regime that put them here. To cope, they start talking wishes again, dreaming almost desperately about the life waiting for them if they somehow survive this. But the anger under the surface boils over, and soon the whole group is chanting in unison, right in the soldiers' faces. Fuck the long walk. Fuck the major. It's a small act of rebellion in a place where rebellion gets you killed, but for a moment, it feels like power. By day 3, everyone is deteriorating. Art nearly dies after stopping too long to relieve himself, barely making it back to pace in time. As the miles blur together, Ray finally opens up to Peter about why he's really out here. His father, William, was executed by the major years ago. His crime was simply teaching ideas against the regime and refusing to switch loyalties. Ray's plan, if he somehow wins, isn't riches. It's revenge. He wants his wish to be a carbine rifle so he can hunt down and kill the major himself. Peter tries to talk him down from that path. Later, they pass a family standing on the side of the road, watching the walkers pass. Ray assumes they're just spectators, hungry to witness someone die for entertainment. Peter sees it differently. He points out that the family looks just as scared and lost as the boys walking past them. More boys fall before the 200-mile mark. Some try to make a run for it. Some try to fight back against the soldiers, and every single one loses. By evening, Hank's mind starts slipping. Dehydrated and delirious, he wanders off course, drifting straight toward the soldiers' trucks. They don't kill him cleanly. They shoot him in the stomach and leave him on the roadside to bleed out slowly, a deliberate, horrifying warning to everyone still walking. The next morning, the group learns something that hits hard. Parker reveals that Hank was the only one among them who was married. Grief-stricken, they make a quiet pact. Whoever wins will use part of the winnings to take care of Hank's widow. It's a small promise, but it means everything to men who have almost nothing left to hold on to. Guilt has been eating away at Barkovich since Rank's death, and it finally breaks him. He approaches Ray, desperate, begging to be allowed into the group, hoping for some kind of forgiveness or connection before the end. Ray, against his better judgment, agrees, but it's already too late for Barkovich. Moments later, he walks off from the group and takes his own life, stabbing himself in the throat rather than facing another execution by the soldiers' hands. As the walkers approach the 300-mile mark, only 5 remain: Ray, Peter, Art, Stebbins, and Parker. They pass through a small town, and disaster nearly strikes Ray when he steps on a nail, with no time to treat it properly. He's forced to abandon his shoes entirely rather than risk the nail driving deeper into his already blood-soaked feet. Then in the crowd lining the street, Ray spots his mother, Ginny. She's horrified at the sight of her son, bloodied, broken, barely holding together. Overcome, Ray breaks from the pace and runs to her, apologizing over and over for ever entering the contest. But every second he stands still is a second closer to execution. Peter grabs him, pulls him back into the walk, forcing his legs to move again before the soldiers can act. In return, he shares his own painful history, raised by an abusive uncle, never knowing his birth parents, never really belonging anywhere. If Peter wins, he doesn't want revenge. He wants to use his wish to actually change the country for the better, to make sure fewer boys end up walking roads like this one. Not long after passing 300 miles, something in Parker finally snaps completely. He charges one of the soldiers, wrestles the rifle from his hands, and manages to kill him before another soldier opens fire and drops Parker to the ground. Wounded and knowing he has seconds left, Parker refuses to let the regime finish the job. He turns the rifle on himself and pulls the trigger. As night falls again, Art starts suffering a violent, uncontrollable nosebleed. Stebbins, who's shown an unsettling amount of knowledge throughout the walk, tells him plainly it's an internal hemorrhage. He's dying from the inside and there's nothing anyone can do. Ray and Peter take turns half carrying him forward for as long as they physically can, but eventually Art accepts what's coming. He asks his friends for one final mercy, not to watch when the soldiers come for him. Heartbroken, they honor his wish and let him go. Now it's just three, Ray, Peter, and Stebbins. They cross a long bridge together in near silence, each of them running on nothing but willpower. Stebbins, visibly fading, finally reveals the secret he's carried the entire walk. He's one of the Major's illegitimate children. His wish, if he had one, wasn't riches or revenge. It was simply to finally live in his father's house, to belong to someone. But his body is giving out, and he knows it. With quiet resignation, he says goodbye to Ray and Peter, turns, and walks back toward the soldiers to accept his execution. Only Ray and Peter are left. They walk into a town packed with people, crowds lining every street, all watching to see who will be the one to survive. Peter, utterly spent, starts to slow down deliberately, trying to sacrifice himself so Ray can win. But Ray refuses to let him. He grabs Peter, pulls him back to his feet, and forces him to keep walking. In the end, it's Ray who makes the final choice. He slows his pace and takes 3 shots, giving up his own life so that Peter can be the one who survives. Peter collapses beside his best friend's body, screaming, shattered by the loss. Moments later, the Major arrives, calm and pleased, ready to congratulate his winner. Peter asks for his wish. He chooses the same thing Ray always wanted, a carbine rifle. Once it's in his hands, he raises it and points it directly at the Major. The Major stays composed, trying to talk him down, telling him he's won, that this isn't necessary. Peter doesn't listen. In the name of his friend, he pulls the trigger and kills the Major right there on the road. The film closes with Peter walking away completely alone, down a long, dark, rain-soaked road. The official winner of the long walk, holding riches and a wish already spent, but with absolutely nothing left worth celebrating.